Hey guys, hey everybody over on LinkedIn and on YouTube. Guys, we're multi-streaming this go around because we wanted to come and say hi, but we also have some great information for you. Super excited. Altavis Pelzer here, the voice coach, founder of the World Voice League, a virtual network of female speakers coming together to impact social change. With that being said, guys, you know I always come and I give you insight, information. I give you great people for you to connect with and talk to. And today is no different. I am connected to my coach, Mr. Daniel Gomez. I am super excited to have him here. Good morning.
Good morning, Albert. How are you doing this morning?
I'm fired up. I've already gotten my 3 miles in this morning, did my affirmations, and I am ready to go. How about
Woo,
yourself?
baby, let's go. You got me motivated now. Got me motivated here. I'm excited. See, I love your energy. Hey, see, enthusiasm is because a lot of us entrepreneurs, business owners, why is my business not doing well? Well, where's your energy level? If you don't have that energy when your customer comes in or on the phone, you're going to miss that opportunity. So I love your energy this morning.
Exactly. And you know, it's interesting because, whoo, listen, without that industry energy, any little thing will come and get you off track. It will get you off track. It will set you off, completely off. And then what ends up happening is it's hard to get that momentum back.
Yes.
Like that's always the hardest thing. So tell them a little bit about yourself, Daniel, and then we'll talk about some of the things of reasons why we're connected. And then also what you have coming up in March.
Yeah, yes. My name is Daniel Gomez. I'm a confidence architect. I do confidence, business, and life coaching. I love it. I'm based out of San Antonio, Texas. And, my life changed 2 years ago when my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I resigned from my corporate job. And when I told everybody I was going to be a motivational speaker, they thought I was crazy, being Hispanic from the south side of San Antonio. And by the grace of God, the U.S. Air Force hired me to train them. That was a great pivoting point in my career with that footage. And from there, I've spoken with Les Brown, with Tom Bilyeu, and, just by God's grace, I'm where I'm at. And I got to tell you, it's hard to believe how far I've come in 2 years. So I think I really love people. I love adding value to people, and I truly care. And when they told me that I couldn't do it, that I couldn't accomplish what I'm doing, I think it just shows the regular person out there, anybody who you are, if you have a dream, there's nothing that you can't accomplish when you put your mindset to it and you really focus on it.
So very true. And so we connected on a couple different ways. We connected because you were a guest on the podcast, on the Speakeasy podcast, which I absolutely loved your episode. And then also you were a speaker on the World Voice Summit, which, guys, every February we do the World Voice Summit. We bring together speakers from all over the world. Daniel came in and nailed it 100%. Okay, completely blew us away. And that is why he is who he is. So, but then we were able to take it a point further and you started coaching me. And I always tell people that something that you need in this journey as an entrepreneur, it doesn't matter if you're speaking, it doesn't matter if you're eating cakes, it is at some point you need a coach. You need a coach. Tell them why that's so valuable. It's not just important, it's valuable in today's economy.
Well, when it comes back for it, think about the cars that we drive every day. Cars are created, any automobile is created by a human being. And every vehicle, it doesn't matter if it's a $50,000 car, $100,000 car, or just a $10,000 car, it has blind spots. Well, who makes those vehicles? Human beings do. So why do you think those cars have blind spots? Because us ourselves, we all have blind spots. And the moment we think that we have it, it's like driving, and next thing you know, it's like, man, I didn't see that bump in the road. Well, because your car has a blind spot. And us ourselves, we're our own vehicle to our success. And we're not going to see all those bumps in the road or those roadblocks. And sometimes you need that outside assessment to help you. I myself, I've had 3 coaches. As a matter of fact, I just hired another coach that we've been working one-on-one. He was here Saturday at my house, and it was just amazing because there's always another level inside of you. And you don't know what you don't know. And the moment you think I know everything, that's when you really start going downhill, because the moment either your ego or your pride gets in the way, because nobody knows everything. Let me tell you, when your ego gets in the way, when your pride gets in the way, when yourself gets in the way, that's when you start regressing and you kind of hamper and you destroy that potential blessing that you have in front of you, because then at that point you think it's you doing it, and we all need help. Put it this way: nobody achieves that greatness. Nobody can go to the top of Mount Everest by themselves. Even the climber has helpers at the base, along the way. And not only that, you think about that. People that get to the top of Mount Everest, well, they got to come down. You know, more people die sometimes coming down from Mount Everest than they do going up.
Really?
Yes.
I can imagine it.
Yeah.
It's a lot. When we think about this journey as entrepreneurs, speakers, authors, coaches, and like I said, any business, when we think about all of the things that come, attached to that, it's a lot. It's a lot to handle. It's a lot to deal with. And it's that, that rise and that fall. You go up into the elevation, and then when you're coming back down, your body has to readjust. Well, as you're in business, you're going to have those peaks and valleys. And those peaks and valleys, your body, your mind, your finances, your actions, everything has to adjust to where you are at that moment. And if it doesn't adjust, you find yourself kind of grasping for air, trying to survive. Ooh, that's good. Trying to survive the moment.
Think about this. Michael Phelps, the number one world record holder swimmer in the world, Michael Phelps. Even he has a coach. Tiger Woods just won a Grand Slam golf tournament this past weekend. They counted him out. Well, he didn't get back on his own. He recognizes that he needed assistance. He brought in some different coaches to help him get through that. And, now he's tied for almost breaking the record as far as the most wins on major PGA tours. So even the champions like Michael Phelps, Tiger Woods, they have coaches. And we all need coaches. And the moment you think that you can do everything by yourself, I mean, it's just, we all have blind spots, to put it that way, out to these.
Most definitely. So now, as a speaker, I know that you've been speaking you've been doing this business piece of it for the last 2 years. Uh, and you guys just recently had a conference that you're about to be doing again in March. So tell them a little bit about the conference so we can tell them so they can get in gear and get themselves there.
Yeah, well, October 5th, we had our Finding Your Inner Beauty Women's Conference. It was amazing. It just the speakers that we had, Jenny Landon, and came in from Minnesota, crushed it. Wendy Krause came in, and she was just amazing. Everybody was amazing. Nadia here, one of our MCs from San Antonio. I mean, just the stories that were shared. You had women and men in the audience just crying, and it was really moving. And the best people say, well, why do you put on events? It's a lot of work. But if you change one life during that event, then it was worth it, because your life is priceless. And the moment you take the focus off yourself and you realize that you're adding value to somebody out there in the audience, because what the problem most speakers make is that most speakers think that the show's about them. They think that we're the star. We're not the star. I'm not the star. The audience is the star of the show. You're just a director. And it was just amazing how at the end of the conference, we took a group photo. It was just to see the lives that were impacted and the people that are there, how their lives are truly transformed. You can't get that anywhere else. And after the conference, we had a gentleman that says, well, what about a men's conference? And we had thought about it. And I told my wife, I said, well, I don't want to really just do a men's conference. So what we came up with, instead of finding your inner beauty for women, it's finding your inner strength, the empowerment conference. And it's going to be a professional development and personal growth conference here in San Antonio, March 6th. And it's going to be amazing. We got the Tony Watley, the side hustle millionaire, is going to come in. He became a multi-millionaire, actually a millionaire doing his side hustle. We got Sean Douglas coming in, and that's just going to be amazing. That's just, he's the number one resilient implementer there with the United States Air Force. We got Michael D. Butler coming in, and he's just beyond publishing. International speaker. International speaker and publicist for the stars. He's Forbes Riley's actually published her. And then we got Miss Altuvice Pelter coming in all the way from Maryland. And it's going to be really a day, because let me explain this, is as a business owner, whether you're a manager, whether you're an entrepreneur or in sales, if your mindset is not right, you're not going to get the business that you need. You can have all the skill set you need, but if you have a block here that's keeping you from going to the next level, and that's what this conference is going to be about. It's going to be a personal growth conference for your personal and professional life. Because most times we don't realize, Altuve, is that we ourselves, we get on our own way. And March 6th, I'm going to tell you on a Friday, it's going to be life changing. It's going to be at the Norris Center here in San Antonio, Texas. And I'm super excited. And one thing that I love to do is I love to put extra money in the stages because I believe as a speaker, for me, it was hard to find those nice stages to speak on. So that's something that I give back to my speakers because I know that it's just a great feeling when you get up there and you're able to direct and touch hearts and really just connect with the audience from that point of view.
I absolutely love it. One of the things that really just stuck out from what you just said was that, we have this inner work that we need to get through. We have these blocks, and those blocks can definitely hold us back. So share with them one of the major blocks that you see holding people back to success.
I would have to say that they don't feel they're good enough. It amazes you, and I say this because as much success as I had in the automotive industry, I mean, I ran multi-million-dollar organizations, and very successful. You name it, God bless us with it. Harleys, Corvettes, and everything. No matter how successful I was in that arena, when you come into an entrepreneurship and you're the business yourself, there comes a point as you're going up the ladder that you start to self-sabotage yourself. And I found myself there. And I speak from experience. I'm being totally transparent. I'm not trying to be somebody that I'm not because I speak from my heart. And I found myself for 2 months, I would lose about 3 days. And I'd be like, why am I doing this to myself? But when I really took time to step back, spoke with one of my coaches at the time about it, and they came up with the fraudulent complex. I'm like, fraudulent complex? I'm like, what's that, man? He's like, just pray about it. He told me, he goes, but I think that's what you're going through. And it's the same thing, fraudulent, whether you call it fraudulent complex or you call it imposter syndrome, you're not good enough. They're all tied in together. And when I really analyzed it, it rooted back to just some things that I had to deal with when I was a younger kid that, I wasn't good enough. And then sometimes we fail in our life, and then we carry that guilt, that shame with us. So as we're rising up to a different level of who we are, like as we're growing as a person, becoming a better version of ourselves, it's stuff comes up, and you're like, man, do I deserve this? Right? It's like, do I deserve the iPhone 11? Do I deserve the iPhone 20 when it comes out? And you'd be surprised how many people feel guilty and they don't think they're good enough. So I would say one of the biggest things you got to deal with inside of you is that you don't feel good enough. And the people that think they are, because somebody's going to say, oh, Daniel, that's ridiculous. If you have to drink a beer every day after work or a spirit after work to release your stress, that might be one of the coping mechanisms. If you overeat, that might be one of the coping mechanisms. If you're a shopaholic and you got a lot of clothes in your closet, that might be one of the coping mechanisms. Because let me tell you this, Altuve, something that I realized is if you yourself don't like somebody or there's somebody that irritates you the wrong way, many times, not all the time, but many times it's something that you see within yourself. And that person that maybe gets on your nerves at work or one of those vendors that gets on your nerves, you can always get out of the room and walk away from them, but you can never walk away from yourself. And when you wake up every morning and you see yourself and you're not happy with who you are, you can't walk away from who you are.
Oh my goodness, that resonates with me so much. For me, it was the people pleasing. It was from the abuse that I had went through and people pleasing. And even when I thought I had it under control, I thought that I had it together. It was no, you were just in a different level of people pleasing. You were just in a different level of trying to make things happen for other people and not really standing in your greatness. And when you get to that point where you stand in your greatness, then I don't need the pats on the back, as much. Everybody wants pats on the back, but I don't need it. And there's a difference because when I need it, then I'm doing anything possible to get it. When I don't need it, then I'm just going to walk in my own, and I will accept the kudos and the high fives and the pats on the back, but I don't need to fight for that because that's not my goal.
But you're
It
right.
goes back to, what you said. It's not about us. It's about when we get on that stage, how many lives are we impacting? How many lives are being shifted? What are people walking away with?
It's just, so what comes to mind, I call it the yes ma'am or yes sir syndrome. You're like you say yes to everybody, and you're already to capacity at your work, your personal life, and you still continue saying yes just to please people, and you can't do that, and you're exactly right on that. And
And so Agata is watching, and she said that emotion, she said that we stuffed away, it creeps back up out of the blue. It sure enough does.
so, and she's right, because we stay so busy, especially here in North America and the United States of America. We're conditioned to be busy. And if you think of just an average day for a person, if you have kids, you take the kids to school, and then you go to work, you pick up the kids, and then not only do you have your kids just in one activity, you have them in two activities that are in volleyball, basketball, and next thing you know, Saturday and Sunday come, and you don't even get to a chance to clean your house. You're just buying groceries. You got to go to the game. You got another game. And we're so accustomed to staying busy, because by staying busy, we don't deal with the issues that are underneath. And then when it starts to slow down, like what she was saying, it creeps back up. And then we want to get back in that busy mode because we don't want to deal with it.
Busy, but not productive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dangerous.
It's not healthy. There comes a point in your day, in your month, where you have to just spend time with who you are. And I think for me, when my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer, when I really took a step back, the busyness of 100 employees was gone, used cars was gone, new cars was gone, everybody, all the responsibilities were gone. And she had a double mastectomy, so we were staying home. So we didn't go out. And it was just all the 8 layers of life were gone. And you look in the mirror and you're like, Daniel, there's some things about you that I don't like. And you have to deal with them. But most people don't want to deal with them because it brings up a lot of pain, a lot of hurt from childhood, from a divorce, from somebody passing away. But if you never deal with it, think about it this way. If we have a splinter in our finger and we never take it out, what's going to happen with it, Altavis?
It's going to get infected.
And then my finger's already, right? It's infected. Altavis just passes by accident, hits it. Am I going to overreact?
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
So then I leave it in there for another month, and then Mary comes by and barely even taps it, and right? Then we start to overreact even more. And that's what's going on in 98% of people's lives right now, is because we don't deal with the issues at hand, that they get infected, they fester. And it doesn't matter if it's in this area of your life, it's going to transfer to this area, to this area, to this area.
Oh my goodness, that's so very true. Now, we told them about the event that's coming up in March. I'm super excited to be a part of this, guys, and be there and be in the place. Of course, because there's going to be some great information shared, and this is one of the things that I often tell people, that we miss out on things simply because we don't show up, and we don't show up out of fear. We don't show up out of thinking that we're not good enough. We don't show up because, oh well, what can they teach me? And my thing is, you always should get a return on the investment. When you show up somewhere, there should be some return on the investment, but you have to go into it with that mindset first. You have to go into it with the mindset, I'm going to get a return on this investment of my time, my energy, and my money. And so I challenge you guys, and I put it before you guys, because I don't want you to just show up to this event. I want you to show up with an expectation that something is going to shift within you. I want you to show up with an expectation that something's going to shift within your business, your brand, within your relationships, within every bit and piece of your life. Why? Because it's not until you start having those expectations that you start seeing big changes within your life.
And it brings it up to realize the law of expectation is the true law of the universe, right? Like you have the law of gravity. I have this card right here. If I let this card grow, it's gonna fall. If I let this pen go, it's gonna fall. Why? Because the law of gravity. Well, the same way the law of gravity governs our world, the law of expectation says this: 85% of what you expect, yes, what you expect will happen. To the good or to the bad. But most of us have been taught this. This is what 98% of us have been taught. Well, don't get your hopes up, Octobies, because if you get your hopes up and it doesn't happen, I don't want you to be disappointed. And we're told that over and over and over as a child, in our teenage years, as an adult. Don't get your hopes. Don't apply for that promotion because you're not qualified. What if you don't get it? So we don't expect it. So the law of expectation says this: if you don't expect anything, what are you going to get? Nothing. Think about that. 85% of what your viewing audience expects, they're going to get. 85%. That's better than the Texas lottery here in San Antonio.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. People just don't have that understanding. And when you only expect little, you're going to get little. So sometimes, and it's sometimes it's because of the people that we're hanging around, that we're scared to expect more, because if we expect more, then we'll stand out from those we're with. If we expect more, then we they're only expecting $10,000 dreams and we're expecting $100,000 dreams. So if we get it, then what will that say to them? How will we make other people feel? It's that whole going back to dimming our own light, because we think dimming our light will make somebody else shine brighter.
So let me say this to you. Your new life is going to cost you your old life.
Come on.
Your new
Repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it.
Your new life is going to cost you your old one. There's going to come a point in your walk that you're going to need to turn your back. You're going to literally need to turn your back on your old life. Because if you don't turn your back on your old life, you're never going to walk into the destiny that awaits for you over there. People that were so close to me that I loved, that just when your frequency changes, because whether you believe it or not, our body puts out an energy. We put out a frequency. It's proven already scientifically that we're a vibration. We're not standing still. And as our frequency elevates and you start attracting different people into your life, like yourself, different speakers, different people. And as you do that, you not that you're better, but you just outgrow situations in your life. And if you're not willing to go through those growing pains, and I think what happens a lot of times, Altavis, is that those people that are back there that we love so much, we love them more than our own selves, that we let go of our future because we don't want to turn our back on that life. And we don't want to give up our old life. And I tell you this again because I went through that for a season. Because let me tell you, the first 6 months to a year, it sucks. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You get lonely because you're by yourself, and then you question, was it worth it? But I promise you, if you keep going, on the other side of that year, as you start doing it, you meet people like the James Dentleys, you meet people like the Michael Butlers, you meet people like the Altovis Peltzers, and you just encourage, edify each other, and the next thing you know, it just, the reward is amazing, because you really see that you're making a difference. And when you go and do a training, like when I do a lot of corporate trainings, and when these people come up to you and say, whether it's through my communication training or team building training, you saved my marriage. Thank you for that lesson. It's like, what do you say to that? That's, my own psychologist, a lot of doctors just want to give you drugs, and then you're out of the way for the month. But when people say what your words brought healing to my soul, and that's what I needed. That stuff's
definitely taking it to another level.
Yes. So it's worth it. It's worth it. And like I said, I don't know I guess it's for somebody out there watching in your audience, but your future is going to cost you your old life. Turn your back on it. And not that you're better. You're not saying you're better. You're just in a different space now than when you were before. Because to get away from alcoholism, you can't be hanging out at the bars. To get away from those drugs, you can't be hanging out with the same friends. To be to lose that weight and get healthy, you got to stay away from those restaurants that don't serve you. But it's amazing how somebody can have a heart attack, and next thing you know, their life changes, and within a couple of months, they lose 50 pounds because their life depends on it. Well, just treat every day like your life depends on it.
Oh, I love that. Treat every day like your life depends on it. Definitely. So I just had to make sure that you guys got some insight, that you connected with Mr. Daniel Gomez. If you have not connected with him already, I don't know what you're waiting for. He's on all social media platforms. He goes live. He does some videos. He's on YouTube. So I'm gonna let him give you all of the ways that you can connect with him, because you definitely want to connect, but not just that. Make sure that you have a seat and that you get in the building on March 6th. Make sure that you are in the place. Why? Because again, come with expectations so that way you can see some results. We know a lot of times everybody is gearing up for that whole first of the year, and everybody's going to be gung-ho with doing all of these different things. Do something that's going to give you not just the feel good part of it, but something that's going to give you the meat and potatoes so that way you can grow. So Daniel, tell them how they can connect with you.
Well, they can go on my Facebook, Daniel Gomez Inspires. I have a private group there, and they can join my group there, Daniel Gomez Inspires, or you can Google me. All my platforms pretty much on Instagram is Daniel Gomez Inspires. My YouTube page is Daniel Gomez Inspires. And anybody that comments below on this live, I'll send them. I'll message me your email, and I'll send you a free copy of my 7 Days to Fly daily guide. It's 7 Days to Fly daily guide. So it's going to help you to get your mindset going in the right direction, totally free. And I'll get that email to you here this week. And it's just a gift that I want to do. And also, you can go to danielgomezinspires.com. That's danielgomezinspires.com. And you can actually download a copy of my free book to your computer, danielgomezinspires.com, and get your free copy of my book, You Were Born to Fly, international bestseller. So I'm going to give you moods. I want to bless your audience this morning.
Well, I appreciate that. And guys, one of the reasons that I so appreciate Daniel is because for Daniel, it's all about service first. And that's my heart. It's always been my heart. And when I saw myself moving away from that, I said, okay, something's not right. I have to get back to the heart of the issue, the root of the issue. And it was because I wasn't doing service first. So when I got back to service first, that was, they say when the student is ready, and so it literally, when I made that confession that I wanted to shift some things within my life and business, then that's when we first connected. And then he was there and he was sowing some seeds, in that timing. And it's interesting because when you can connect with someone and the first thing out their mouth is not, let me sell you, here, buy my stuff. It feels good because we're in a society where everybody sell. And it's not to say that you don't need to sell, but I need to know who you are as the person. Because anybody can sell you anything. It doesn't mean that you necessarily need it.
Yeah.
And so I love that we built that connection first. And then when it was time, I could just reach out and say, okay, I'm ready. Let's go. It's time. So I'm super excited about that, guys. Again, if you have not done so already, make sure that you go and reach out to Daniel Gomez so that way you can get not just the free copy of the book, the free 7-day guide. He's just giving y'all all types of extra bonuses. He's giving you all of the juice, but just so that way you can get connected to some people who are service oriented. I appreciate you guys, each and every one of you that come in. And guys, until next time, don't forget to press it out. See ya.
Thank you for having me.